All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Another exciting Veterans Day edition of 2 Men in Black and White, an honest conversation. And you know what? It's Veterans Day. We want to thank all those who have served, my father, my oldest son, and we thank those who made the ultimate sacrifice. We would not be who we are as a country without those veterans. And if you should ever happen to see a Vietnam veteran, please tell them welcome home. They never got the welcome they deserved in what appears to be, from the history books, an unwinnable conflict. All right, let's get right into what's happening today. We got an unhinged president at Arlington talking crazy. We've got Hakeem and Chuckles Schumer looking like they're going to be primaried. And that is absolutely what we need. Brock, as you mentioned in the editorial meeting, we definitely need primaries for these folks. We need them primaried. We need them to understand that if you're not going to fight for us, you're not going to keep that position. You're not going to get those lifetime benefits. You're not going to get health care for the rest of your life. Either you come in and you get ready to punch the Republicans in the mouth, or you're gone. What say you, my friend, from the beautiful confines of the upper Hudson River Valley, where the fall foliage is in full bloom, I'm sure?
Post full bloom.
Post full bloom. Okay, I missed it.
Post full bloom. Yeah. 34 degrees out right now.
Ooh.
We got leaves are gone. It's cold as shit up here.
Yeah, we're not much warmer down here. It's like
We got a winter blast. But you know, Mark, I'm with you. I just feel like that age in which incumbents were given a free ride to the election because the primary would, quote, divide the party, and you need to show strength all the way in to, the other side was the enemy. But put us in this position where we just have so many soft politicians that have had a cushy career and an easy road to, very, very, huge longevity, aka overstaying their welcome well beyond when they're really useful and effective and in touch and reflective of where their constituents are.
Right.
So I've kind of gotten around to like blaming ourselves. We voted in too many, softball chumps who weren't ready for the fight. So 2026, I want to see primaries all over the place and make candidates answer questions, the tough questions. They don't get to skate and avoid the tough questions and find out where they really stand on shit, so we don't get people getting a seat and then just, fold at every front, right? Because they haven't been in the fight. Right? Safe districts, no primaries. You just get people who don't know how to fight because they didn't have to fight for anything.
Yeah, and they're used to all the benefits of flying around the world, flying for free, flying first class. I would imagine I'd get comfortable too. But look, at the end of the day, what these 8 turncoats have done is, one, absolutely nothing when they had all the leverage. We had all the leverage. Now, the Republicans didn't win anything either because this continuing resolution only goes to January 30th. So again, you're going to starve children when in February. You're going to make it difficult for air traffic controllers once again. I saw a pilot posting a message this morning, that said he's got a 2-hour wait in front of him. The night before, he had a 6-hour wait in Houston at Houston Hobby. And so think about it, Brock, as he was saying, it's the gas, it's the impact on the environment, it's the human impact, it's the fatigue on the pilots, it's the impact on the system itself. I mean, think about a 6-hour wait. He had a 2-hour wait and he had 30 planes in front of him. He was playing.
We're playing with.
It's insane, bro.
We're playing with fire. We're playing with fire there. We kicked the can down the road 2 months. It's not like a big victory lap for Republicans, but Trump's out there laughing at Schumer and basically laughing at the fact that the Dems folded, right? And he's right back. He's totally unaffected and right back to his lunacy of giving absurd speeches and rambling all over the place and self-aggrandizing when he's supposed to be talking about others, right? And browbeating the federal employees that didn't show him enough loyalty during the shutdown and just other absurd, crazy shit that is of no value to anyone. And it's just this little game he's playing in his own head.
Yep. And,
here's
the thing about, Everybody has dealt with a bully at some point in their lifetime, right? And the bully doesn't go away till you punch him in the nose, right? We need to continue to ridicule him. We need independent media to continue the fight, to hold the feet to the fire. I'll tell you what, if you haven't gotten David Hogg's newsletter, go on his website and sign up. He's right where we are, and he gets it. That is a smart young man. I'm going to find him and clean him up and raise him as my own. I love that kid. I mean, but he's right there with us, in terms of watching these, people who don't want to fight. And think about where he's coming from. He's coming from a place where he saw his life flash before his eyes, and no one has lifted a finger since. He lost friends at Parkland High. He was probably still traumatized, was harassed in the street by an angry and vile Marjorie Taylor Greene. Think about what that man has been through in his young life, and no one has lifted a finger to do anything about what happened to him and what's going to happen to future children at future school shootings.
Yeah, and he's all about primarying, right? He's all about younger candidates going after old and entrenched candidates.
Yep.
Yeah, I think kind of the big, kind of one of the big stories of today is right that Hakeem Jeffries falling in line and supporting Schumer, and Schumer sort of falling in line or having engineered the vote, to break the shutdown, and Trump kind of just mocking the fact that Schumer folded, right? So like we went from a strong hand and coming off winning elections to like a week later kind of being played like chumps again. But like you said, nobody's really winning. We kicked the can down the road a couple of months. If there's one positive piece of news coming out is that there's a lot of chatter coming from Ro Khanna, who, by the way, wants Schumer out, that him and Massey are going to do another press conference next week with Epstein victims because they're going to be right on top of that issue as soon as things reopen. Apparently, Johnson has agreed to swear in the Arizona Gujarva, I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, that she might be sworn. I saw a story that she might get sworn in tomorrow.
Whoa.
I think he just realizes he can't hold that off if they're going to open back up. And, there's probably, a lot of pressure on him to open back up. I'm sure he won't let anything Epstein related get to the floor till after the Tennessee election, which the Dems should be, we need to be talking loud and aggressively about that Tennessee election every day for the next, 3 weeks, right, headed up into that election.
Yes.
But Jeffries is a disappointment today because he towed the line and he played it soft. And, it just doesn't help us when anyone plays it soft. Like, that may help them in their mind navigate political waters and by playing a middle of the roady type of non-controversial stance that maybe they get to keep their stature.
Right.
But that doesn't do any shit for the rest of us, right? That may be good for them, that one person. It's not where the rank and file is. So yeah, I hope he does get primaried and that Jeffries is going to have to go out every day and answer a lot of questions on all the shit he did. And he'll go from leadership to fighting for his seat.
Yep. And Brock, doesn't it make you wonder about these political calculations that these people are making? Like, can't they read the tea leaves? Why don't they see where the American people are? You've got well-educated government employees at food banks. Those are the people that are not going to forget what it was like to have to stand in line to ask for food to feed your family. Can you imagine? Brock, my fraternity has done numerous food drives, and you can see it in people's faces, how hard it is to pull up and open their trunk or open their back door and ask for a box of staples. You're getting a couple of chickens, a couple of boxes of rice, a few cans of beans. You're not really getting much fresh, maybe some fruit, bag of oranges, a bag of apples, but I just feel like life shouldn't be this hard. And we have a party that all they want to do is make it more difficult for Americans to survive. They're not making it more difficult to thrive.
Yeah, to survive.
You got to
And
get past survival in order to thrive.
and at this point, how do the Democrats not have a phenomenal message?
Bro,
We're looking to feed you and give you affordable health care. We're about, like, we're the quality of life party for all of you, everybody,
right. We're the
not
live
just
longer party.
the elite few. We're about everyone. And then once you're fed and once we've taken care of your health, then we want everyone to get educated. We're going to really take care of the basics. But that's what our party's about, and that's what we're looking to deliver. And we're fighting against a party that's looking to take from you, and we're a party that wants to give to you. And I mean, how fucking hard is it to say that and then give your laundry list of policies that go right behind that?
Brock, we're the party that wants to give you life. We're the party that wants you to be able to get to a hospital when you have to, not to have to drive 3 hours and hope you fucking make it. That's what's happening now. This party is trying to make your life hell. Look what they've done to our Latino brothers and sisters. Look what they've done to our Haitian brothers and sisters. Look what they've done in the Caribbean. We're sending aircraft carriers to the Caribbean to bomb fishing boats.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what the side story is on that? The little side story on that, I was going to wait to the end, is UK's not sharing intelligence with us anymore in the Caribbean because they think that our bombings are illegal and they don't want to be a party to it. So there it begins. We knew with Jesus Christ, what's the name of the CIA woman from Hawaii? I can't. She hasn't even been in the picture.
Tulsi Gabbard.
So yeah, Gabbard. We knew that as soon as Gabbard took that seat, that the Five Eyes was gonna not want to share information with us because they wouldn't trust her because of her Russia ties, and they certainly don't trust Trump with anything. But for this to leak out into the mainstream press is a pretty like almost aggressive statement
Yeah.
by the
And
UK.
think about it, Brock. Somebody wants us to know how fucked up what we're doing in the Caribbean is. Right?
Yeah.
That's how that got out.
Yeah. They didn't go to the UN and make a speech, right? But it leaked out to the press to make sure everyone knew about it, right?
Exactly.
Unofficial channels.
Exactly.
Unofficial channels.
And where is the Hague? Where is the UN? Where are the global pressure points being putting the screws to the US, to Trump and his cronies, and to the ambassadors, that they sit in these UN meetings like they don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, the rest of the world needs to condemn every one of these fucking, ridiculous wastes of artillery. I mean, it's a waste of resources to be down there declaring war on Venezuela. And first of all, that ain't even you as the president cannot declare war in this country. But again, we thought we had that covered, and we don't, right?
We
Here's
don't
this
have a
fucking
clue.
guy declaring war all on his own because he's a demented, lost and confused soul who's a sociopath who thinks it's cool to look at the videos of shit getting blown up. So hey, let's shoot these drug dealing boats, and let's not worry about proving the fact that they had. Why aren't they pulling up the cocaine, fishing it out of the water and showing it to us, putting it on display? Look, here's what we stopped from getting into the U.S. because it ain't nothing but fish on those boats and fishing rods and nets, fuckers. When is the military brass gonna start saying, yeah, we're not firing on unarmed vessels? When is
I mean,
that?
I had hoped we were going to hear from a bunch of them today. I haven't yet
Right.
seen anything of note from any high-profile military figures.
And that's disappointing.
That's disappointing, right? I thought today would be the day they would rally because they would just get the airtime, right?
Yes.
Everyone would make some time to speak to controversial words coming from some ex-military leaders. So I guess it's still only mid-afternoon, so maybe there's still time.
Brock, there are 20 million U.S. veterans in this country right now. 20 million. You mean
Wow, it's a big number.
Yeah, huge number, right? I was shocked when I heard it today. But where is the leadership? Where is the commitment? Where is the oath that they took to defend the Constitution, right? We don't serve a president. We don't serve a political agenda. We serve the Constitution when you enroll in or enlist and join the armed forces. Brock, we've got some of the finest minds
I know,
available.
like Petraeus, Wesley Clark, Millie, Hertling, even guys like Podesta. I mean, just kind of any and all of John Kelly, any and all of them should be, making the waves and trying to get onto different shows, whether it be independent media or mainstream, and talking about like how Veterans Day is the day to talk about the misuse and mistreatment of our military. And to me, it's a missed opportunity. If not, like, I don't know, they all got consulting jobs with, military suppliers, and they can't give up. They're all working for Lockheed on the side, and they don't want to lose their jobs by being controversial. I mean, that would be disappointing, right?
Again, the toxic selfishness, right? We talked about this a couple of months ago. People, just not wanting to interrupt their cash flow, so they won't stand up. John Kelly, of all people, knows how demented this guy is. He knows how off balance this guy. I mean, how do we allow somebody, person, woman, man, camera, TV, how do we vote that fucking guy back in? We're the idiots. The voting.
We're the idiots. We're the idiots. We voted like the people of Virginia, right? They voted Tim Kaine. They voted him for 20 years. I'm a New Yorker. We fucking voted Schumer for 30 years. This guy we voted in. Every 6 years, we just pulled the lever like, you know what? Path of least resistance, right? Oh, it's not proper protocol to primary him. So, we have this softball joker playing tough guy from Queens, New York, or whatever. He's the softest guy out there. Yeah, we're the jokers. We're the ones that fucked up, which is why we're the ones that have to dig ourselves out of it. We can't keep waiting for the chosen one who's going to lead us all. That person doesn't exist.
Right.
And it's going to have to all come from the ground up. So next fight is the fight after that is the Tennessee special election. The fight after that will turn the corner into the new year, and there'll be all kinds of primary races, at least teeing themselves up for the spring and summer, right?
Right. And
we're gonna have to support unknown candidates.
Right. All day. And here's the thing, with the right message, the unknown candidates can absolutely win. If you come in with a great resume and you're willing to endure the rigors and foolishness of the press and the 24-hour news cycle and the constant and disparaging remarks about your service, we'll take you. Because if
but you can embrace it. Even like that Kat Abbas, another name I can't pronounce, in Illinois, who's like made a big splash.
Huge.
By being out there at the ICE facilities. Like, I hope she wins, right? I'm sitting in New York rooting for her, right? She's just embraced the challenge and she's just going after it. But the good thing, Mark, is when you don't have a record, you can just stay on the offensive, right? Like, you don't have to defend anything. Right. So, I mean, that is the one advantage. You're not as well known, but the one advantage you have is like, you can just take shots on what you would do differently.
Yes.
And rank and file, we're looking for fresh voices, right? Okay. We're looking to rotate out the comfortable and the ineffective.
The lifers, who've gotten in there and, quadrupled and, quintupled their net worth and are now living the life of luxury because they got on these boards and, they got this lobby money and, they've got all the trappings of success as a congressperson, except when it comes to defending the American people and fighting for the American people. We need a tea party up in this bitch.
Yeah, Pelosi didn't want to take all the negative she was going to take in a primary because she had someone running against her. Probably just not worth the effort and the aggravation. And and just the fear can change the behavior. Yes. For instance, Kathy Hochul in New York is going to run for re-election this year. She already has, the lieutenant governor of New York has already thrown his hat in the ring to primary her. Right. So she was out today with a written statement criticizing the senators for folding. She never would have done that. She's as centrist as they come, but she's getting pulled to the left. She was pulled into She was pulled into endorsing Mondani, and now she sees it. So she's already because there's no primaries coming from the right on any of these candidates. The only primary is coming from the progressive to their left. So they got to get pulled to where the constituents are.
Right.
And the ambitions ones are going to do it. Maybe begrudgingly, but you can change their behavior by challenging them.
And Brock, I saw a clip this morning on YouTube that one of these talking heads made that very point, letting people know that the moderates are the problem, right? Those 8 turncoats are the problem. If you're in the middle and you're still trying to work with Republicans, we don't want you. They're not where we are. They're not where we need to be, because this country deserves a progressive agenda. Brock, again, what's wrong with Social Security benefits? We're paying into the system, and now you're telling me it's an entitlement? I can't have it? What's wrong with making sure that women and children, young children, infants, can get the support they need? Who knows what their condition is, their circumstance, right? We are the richest nation in the history of the world. And you're telling me we can't feed young children because we have to give tax breaks to the ultra rich, to 83 billionaires who are calling the shots around here? Get the fuck out of here. I mean, and we can go down the list of things that Republicans just don't want you to have because they are greedy and trying to hoard every dollar they can get their hands on for their own good, not for the good of the American people. If that's progressive, if that's a progressive agenda, I'm with it all day. Leaving these Republicans out and taking away from their greed. How many
abolish
can their
yeah.
water ski behind?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Abolish ICE, right? Do we really want these armed fucking Proud Boys, fucking white supremacists with masks on running around primarily our cities and tackling barefoot women going to get coffee and a disabled guy like the video today, tackling them to the ground, holding up guns, pointing them at the head of the media? Is that what we want? While Trump babbles about non-existent malls in Chicago that don't exist? Abolishing ICE is like a fucking easy messaging.
Yep, you would think. You know what we could do with $170 billion, Brock? We could end homelessness and feed the hungry. I know that for a fact. We only got about 3,500, 4,000 homeless in Atlanta City proper, right? Do the math, right? Times 50. I know it's lower in other states, right? Times 50. We can get them housing.
Yeah.
We can find some housing for them.
And what's related is small business confidence index came out today, the lowest in like 7 months, to really I think the lowest even since the pandemic. That's on the heels of consumer confidence hitting lows. That's just people who are getting polled, whoever gets called, right? I've never gotten called for a poll, so I never actually know who's answering this shit. But I feel like that's just people expressing their displeasure, right? Whatever the question is, right? Of course they're not confident. Why would they be confident about their business? They're looking around and seeing all their customers on food lines. If you own a small business, how do you think that person's going to have money to spend at your business if they don't have money for food? Like it's not a hard correlation to make
at all
that your business may be in trouble.
Yep.
Unless you're selling Rolex watches, right? Maybe if you're selling Rolex watches, you're happy, or yachts like you keep talking about, right?
Right. I mean, how many yachts can you water ski behind? It's ridiculous. And, the greedy that's why I love Mackenzie Bezos, right? The hundreds of millions of dollars she's given out to HBCUs. It probably wouldn't surprise me if I don't know. Could her husband be a flaming racist and be furious about where she's giving her money and then marry a Latino woman? I mean, I don't know. But thank goodness for people like Mackenzie Bezos, right? Who's out here showing other philanthropists how to give people the opportunity. Yeah, we don't want to hand out. We want to hand up, right? We're going to school. Hey, who's the most educated segment of the population right now? African American women. They're getting degrees left and right. They are qualified and overqualified. But yet they were the first ones fired. First ones fired, hammered by the Doji Bros and the Muskrats. So I'm sick and tired of hearing, the old welfare trope, black people are lazy, don't want to do anything. Get the fuck out of here. My dad worked 2 jobs for as long as I can remember, bro. For as long as I can remember. And so don't tell me about somebody fucking being lazy. God,
But that whole storyline fucking is ridiculous. As if getting food stamps is some gravy train and you're living large. Right. Like you're just, like you're able to buy caviar and champagne with it. I mean, come on. The amount of dollars you get is still tiny and you're just able, like you're buying shit at Walmart just to feed yourself. Like it's just such a fallacy. And such an epic fail of the media once again to just not depict, because their headlines are all clickbait and that's all anyone reads. Yep. And they always just play into the lowest common denominator, right? They're just complicit in the whole, false messaging.
Yep. That's all they do.
And that's so hard to combat. Like, that's such a big, big problem.
Right.
That it's like, that one's almost unsolvable until we flip the media on its ear.
Right.
And everyone just stops watching mainstream and we just change the definition of what's mainstream.
Right. And you know what, Brock? 7-8 years ago when I got out of television, I thought that day would have been here 5 years ago. I thought that day would have been here after the whole fake news thing with the Trumpster. When he got that thing going and getting, momentum behind it, I thought things were done. I really did. I really thought things were done for mainstream media and that it was going to be incredibly difficult for local TV stations to survive. And I know it is. I know, if they're trying to do everything cheaper, smaller, we got videographer, we got one-man bands, you got reporters using iPhones to shoot stories with. I mean, not that the iPhone doesn't take great pictures and great video, but, we've come a long way from high quality news production and journalism. Journalism is all about what's clicking, right? Because the clickbait is what gets you paid. So, the most important people in the newsrooms right now are the people who write the teases during the shows that people are watching prior to the newscast, right? To get you to watch. If you ever notice, the tease is way better than the story. Right? Because
I know I get sucked in sometimes. Yeah. I click on some of these headlines. I'm just like, oh, yeah, bye.
Yeah.
Like it was bullshit.
Well, that's the job, baby. They got you. That's the gig. So, all right, before we get out of here, give me a quick hit.
Okay. Is this true? So the chatter is that ICE is gonna be leaving Chicago in the next week or so.
Ooh.
And I find that, do they feel like the job is done? Or is the Chicago winter starting to kick in and ICE doesn't want to be there and they're going to start patrolling in like San Antonio and New Orleans and we're only going to see ICE in the South for the next 3 months? Are they a bunch of like snowbirds and they're all going to migrate south like Jewish grandparents used to do to the places in Florida? Is that what's going to happen? Is ICE going to descend on Miami?
Right.
So you heard that? Is that true? Is ICE really leaving Chicago? And is it because it's too cold for them?
I can't imagine that that's true because of the cruel nature of Kristi Noem and Homan and Trump and Miller. But anything's possible with these clowns, They may want to take a vacation from the cold places, cold weather.
Yeah, they might not want to be on there with that wind whipping in Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame them, but it's not exactly,
Well, you know what? You signed up, and it may be more difficult to catch people because they're not going to be outside. They're not Yeah, they're going to be covered up with their parkas and hats and gloves. You're not going to be able to see their faces. So how are you going to pull up on people and just disappear them?
Yeah, I don't know. Ice in the winter is going to be a different game. What do you got for me today?
So, again, my dad and my oldest son both served in the military. There is an organization here called Quest in Atlanta, Quest Community Development. And he has a section of his residential facility dedicated to sheltering homeless veterans and previously homeless veterans. And at that location, they can access their benefits, they can access mental health services, they can open checking accounts. It really is a fascinating organization that has been around for almost 25 years now. and has done some incredible work. And just looking at the numbers today, they estimate about 33,000 homeless veterans in the U.S., 1,000, almost 14,000 unsheltered. It's a decrease of about 7.5% from 2023, and way down from 2010 when it's down about 50% since then. But it's still a huge problem. I just think it's awful that you serve our country and then get left out in the cold.
That's the question I was going to ask to you is, do you think the country takes care of its veterans? But then the follow-up question is this Quest, is that private organization, or are they getting public funds for that? It's private.
So he's using government funds. He's getting, government money, state and federal. And then
So he's getting some subsidy.
yeah,
And then he
but he has
raises
to
money.
raise a lot of money on his own. Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons, has donated millions. So he has become a friend of the city. And because he also has a section that's dedicated to, getting homeless folks off the street. And it all started in one house with 5 or 6, former veterans. It was started by a guy named Leonard Adams, who is a former veteran, and he just started picking people up, taking them to work, helping them cash their check, and it grew into this amazing kind of Shangri-La in the English Avenue, Vine City area of Atlanta. And he's got a 30,000 square foot office space with shared partnerships in there. And it really is something to see. If you ever get a chance, look it up online and check out Leonard Adams. If you want to donate, there's a donate section, but he's doing some amazing things for the city.
Not enough of them, right? Not enough Leonard Adams is out there, right? Because obviously there's a lot of, just think about the PTSD you get of watching friends get shot, or just hearing shelling, or just being in life or death situations all the time, and what that does to your brain, right? And then the tragedy that very often comes with it. Obviously that's going to lead to higher usage of like drugs and alcohol, of things that, get you out of your head, right? Which then leads to a decline in your transition back to normal life and your ability to function normal life. Like, these are just like obvious things that happen that we do to the people that we send out there to protect us. And they know what they're signing up for, and we know what we're signing them up to do for us.
Right.
So to me, it's so selfish, once again, of America, that we don't have just incredible treatment of our military veterans when they come home. Why aren't we a country known for treating them great? We brag about them as the greatest fighting force in the history of the world, right? Every president says that all the time. Yeah. How do we not follow through and provide great treatment? Once again, it's toxic selfishness. Why isn't there just a percentage of all the taxes that come in that goes towards the health and well-being of our veterans? Who wouldn't sign up for that? Who wouldn't say, obviously, 1% of the taxes should just go to veterans for them coming home? I mean, think about how much goes to all the fucking weapons, right? We spend a shitload sending them out there. It's just
It's sad.
We don't do things right, and we got to reassess how we do things in this country.
Yep.
And treatment of veterans has definitely got to be on that list.
Yep. And, there needs to be a reckoning, because most of those veterans, I would venture to guess that the highest percentage is going to be those of Black and brown origin, because they don't have family resources to rely on. Nobody's picking them up and taking them in.
Yeah.
And,
when they come back here, then they have to deal with all the racism and all the other shit that, on top of the issues that they have, right?
Right.
I mean, I say this all the time, and it's not bullshit. It's just I guess I say it out of a selfish reason as well. Also, is I didn't want to go serve. You didn't see me signing up to go fucking for Desert Storm or something like that, right? I don't want to fight in any wars.
No.
So I respect the people that were willing to go do it.
Right.
Right? I wasn't ready. I wasn't putting my life on the line.
Right. I mean,
and there's more of us in America like me, right? There's more people that don't want to go and fight wars and risk their life and be going through the mountains of Afghanistan, right?
What is it?
For fucking years at a time, right? Trying to, sniper. right? Most of us don't want to go to war. So how can we not
Support those that do.
support those that do? Like, well, what the fuck are we doing?
Right.
It's just, it's absurd.
Brock, 1.4 million active duty military people out of 340 million. What is that, a fraction of a percent? Is that even
No.
1%?
No, it's
No.
it's like
like
0.03%, 0.02% or whatever it is. Yeah, it's a handful. It's
Yes.
a small number of people. It's a lot of people, yet it's a small number relative to the country.
Right, right. Hats off to our veterans as we get out of here today. All right, buddy.
All right,
Great
Mark.
stuff. Salute to the veterans.
Okay.
Stay loud and proud. We'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, always a pleasure, Mark. Talk to you
Yes,
tomorrow.
sir.
Bye.